welcome to Summer Farms, where we do a some of this and a some of that. I'm Heather, and today I'm so excited because I am so sick of this. And I am itching to get started gardening. I love the winter because I love how everything has a chance to cool down and, freeze over. It's, killing all the bugs, or at least you don't have to deal with the bugs for a few months. And that's great. And I love the dry heat that comes off of the wood stove. But enough's enough. I'm ready to see some green on the ground. And more importantly, I am ready to start gardening. So when I start getting all of these books in the mail, all these seed catalogs, and I even have Murray McMurray, so the chicken catalogs, I get excited. It's like Christmas all over again for me. Unfortunately, these seed catalogs seem to be, disappearing. I used to get a lot more, and now it just seems like I get less and less, or I have to bug them for them. Actually, go online and request the catalog. Everything's online, but I just like a hard copy. I like to actually look and go through them. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, and my grandmother used to hand me the J.C. Penney catalog, and she'd be like, "Okay, now you and your sister go through and circle what you would want," and she'd give me a pen or whatever, and me and my sister would go through, and we started off with good intentions, and we would circle things, and then the next thing we know, the whole book is circled except for the boys' toys. So spoiled were we? Yes, but we didn't get everything. Obviously, we didn't get the whole J.C. Penney catalog book. But it was fun to go through and be like, "Yep, I want that and that and that." And it's kind of like I want to go and do that with, the Murray McMurray and the seed catalogs too. Is just go through and be like, "Ooh, well that looks cool to grow, and this is a new chick. Let me, let's try that." Or actually, this one's a duck. Actually, it's the Muscovy too, which I really do want to try this year. So it's just fun to go through and look at everything and be like, well, that might be fun to try and, see what it comes out like, and, So, anyways, I did get one new one this year. I don't even know who these guys are, but I haven't even opened it yet. It was nice to get it. So it's something else I can go through and see what they have. And then, so this one's not a seed catalog. This one's for butchering that my dad actually gave me. But again, another thing that, it's nice to have a hard copy of and actually be able to look at the pictures. I get so sick of looking at a computer screen all the time. That's why I could never do an office job or anything like that. I need, if I'm going to look at something, it's going to be a book. Even I like my hard copies of my books. I don't like to, I don't know if you call it streaming, if you, I know videos and movies you stream, but books, I don't know if that's still considered streaming or whatever, but anyways, doesn't matter. I like the hard copy. I don't want to read a book on the screen. It bothers my eyes. I don't care. They have the special screens or the special glasses. I don't care. I want to hold it in my hand and read it, and if I want to, oh, where was that? Oh, yeah, and I want to flip back to it. I don't want to click, 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 click. No, I want to touch it. I want to go back and look for myself, and skim the pages and do the little dog ear flaps if I want to, bookmark something and whatever. I'm the old-fashioned way. I like to do that. So, anyways, I'm digressing here. So I got all this. Super, super excited to look at some of them and from that, I definitely wanted to hardcore this year go on the garden. I've done gardening and stuff in the past, and my great grandmother who came over from Poland, she unfortunately died when I was younger, so I didn't get a chance to really pick her brain about all this stuff. But from what I heard, what my father's told me, a stick laying on the ground and put it in the ground and she would grow something. Like, that's how good she was. So I need my inner great grandmother to come out this year more than ever, and get me going on like this die-hard gardening season here. I did finally put together a spreadsheet, and I want to start keeping track of everything. I know some other YouTubers and stuff I saw do this, and they have like decades of just history that they can track different patterns and everything like that from, which I thought was such good data. I've also been taking every single free webinar that I could possibly get to, and if I can't get to them live, hopefully they have a replay and I can replay them, even if I'm just doing chores and just listening to them, you know, chatting in my ear and stuff and getting good ideas, because I definitely loved that your gardening zone doesn't really matter. I just learned that. So as part of my spreadsheet, I did print off this graph that I got off of Line, and it's all on the soil temperatures for my town. So not even just for the state, but my town specifically. I have all the varying different temperatures. I have last year the 5-year average and the 10-year average. So with this information, I can go back, and I already started plugging in the dates of when I wanted to grow and transplant certain things. I can now, you know, modify that if I need to. And especially one of my goals is to be able to grow something all year round. Like something. I will be setting up the high tunnel this year. It's a cheaper version, so hopefully it'll do good. Maybe I can add some stuff to it to try to stabilize it and make it last longer. I hope. But I really do, that's my goal, is to be growing some kind of fresh vegetable fruit all year round. Have something fresh. I will still do my canning and dehydrating and whatever preserving method, but to have something fresh all year round would be awesome. It would make it so that it's not so boring in the winter when you don't really have a lot of things growing and there's not a lot of fresh stuff. You know, food can get kind of boring, and me, I get bored from food real easily, so that would be nice to have. So on my spreadsheet, I said I had this, our gardening zone, our growing season is 131 days. And again, you can find all this stuff online. I just did a nice Google search, and voila, there it is. Or DuckDuckGo search, and there it is. Our last spring frost was May 16th. However, I've never planted that early. I always wait for Memorial Day and plant Memorial Day the earliest. But nonetheless, I put it on there. The first fall frost is September 25th, which seemed a little weird for us. So I have underneath, I put our actual last frost date and our actual first frost date. So I'm going to be interested to see how close these are, especially with the, I hope I can still say this, the grand solar minimum that's going on. This would be interesting, or global warming maybe is more YouTube correct, whatever term, to see what it actually becomes to. And then I also have our altitude on here, more so for when I do canning, just so I have a quick note and remember where we are. So then the other thing I have is the name of plant, and so underneath I put the actual one that I'm going to grow. I have a very bad habit of being overzealous and wanting to grow everything that I have, and even stuff I don't have. And I really want to focus on seed saving this year, because I'm not so sure every year it seems like from probably last year forward, it's going to be a little bit harder to get these seeds in. So I want to save as much seeds as I can. So I want to grow one variety or maybe two if I'm doing a spring and a fall planting and harvest. I want to, do no more than two variety of something. So anyway, so I put underneath, so for example, the acorn squash, this is all in alphabetical order too. So acorn squash this year I'm going to grow the table queen. So I put that on there. The number of plants I left blank for now because I'm not really sure. Again, with the information that I have with the temperature soils and different things, I have to go back and actually still map out what I'm doing. And then I have the seed starting date, so approximately when I want to start, and then the actual seed starting date, so when I actually put that seed in the soil, the date that it germinates, if I'm transplanting it outside, when I plan to do that. And again, don't forget your seeds have to be hardened off, so at least a week or if not a couple before you want to start introducing them to the outdoors. So that's when I plan to do it. So like I said, a week or so before, I need to start bringing them outside, and I do not like that part. That part's a pain in the butt, carrying all these plants outside and all of them inside every day. It's kind of annoying. That I have to admit is my least favorite part about this, but again, I digress. And then when I actually put them in the ground, and then any notes I have. So far I have notes of definitely the seeds that I want to save. Again, I want to save as many as I can, but there are some on here that I am like dead set. I definitely want to save those seeds, and I listed those on here. I also listed anything that I'm going to do winter sowing, which I'm going to get to in a minute, and any regular, some I'm going to plant throughout the season in different, settings so that I can harvest them differently, and I don't have an abundance of whatever growing all at once. I have all this, I don't know, cucumbers, and they're gonna go bad because cucumbers make pickles, okay, like some of them are a little hard, or like lettuce. So obviously growing that throughout the year, because I don't know how you would really save lettuce too much. So there's that. There's a lot of them. Like I can, you can see here I'm already overzealous about everything. But this also includes all the medicinal plants that I want to grow, everything. So anyways, like I said, I am itching to get started, and one of the things that I found through doing winter sowing, one of the earliest things that I can grow is Salsify. So these are these long little seeds here. When I looked up growing dates, they are like all over the place. Anywhere from like doing the winter sowing now in February all the way to 2 weeks before your frost date, which for us is about May 2nd. So I will try to do these as a winter sow, and I will try to do them in the ground, and I will try to do them again later in the season when the soil temperatures and start to cool down. So just before we get into the actual winter sowing, just a quick little, Salsify is one of those hard things that you can't find. Actually, I've never been able to find that in a grocery store. So it's definitely something that you really have to grow yourself. It is a cool weather root crop. It is grown for its roots, which kind of taste like an oyster, and they look like a carrot but like an off-white-ish color, and it's white in the middle, kind of like a parsnip, or like a daikon radish, but obviously not that big. and you can eat the leaves too. Um, the last time I tried to plant this, I was not successful, so we'll see how I am this year. Again, I'm going to try it three different ways and see how that goes. Hopefully, one of them at least will catch, and I'll be able to grow some. Salsify is a hardy biennial vegetable. It's grown as an annual, however. When this does go outside, it likes the full sun. It prefers a pH of 6 to 6.8, but I'm not so concerned with soil pHs at the moment. But just if you are, that's what they like. The soil temperature, it likes to be about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So if I look at my handy dandy graph here that I just printed, if I look at 40 is this line here. So if I look, a lot of the little, I hope everyone can see, a lot of the little lines and stuff fall within March, kind of April. And it does not like to be in the garden when it's above 85 outside temperature. So it takes 120 to 150 days to harvest. So I'm going to have to go back and do the math on that. But if I can get it out there, I don't know, let's see here. By the end of March, and then if I count 120 to 150 days, I'm not sure where that will bring me, but hopefully before it gets too hot. And again, who knows what the weather's doing this year. It's a guessing game. We'll have to wait and see. And then again, the soil temperatures dip back down into the 40s again around, actually, kind of more like the beginning of October. So again, I'm going to have to do the math on that. And I probably would plant it before October, because if you see here, they kind of dip pretty fast before they plateau out at, I don't know, maybe about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, I'm going to have to do some more planning on that. But you know, it was nice to just literally learn this information and try to use it as a tool this year. So hopefully, you know, it'll go good. It can be harvested after the first freeze too, so I'm not too worried about, you know, freezing or, you know, frost dates and things like that, because it does actually like the cooler weather. So when I do go to plant them outside, hopefully again in March, the soil is probably still going to be frozen, which is I will have to see. But they like to be about a ½ inch deep and about a ½ inch apart, so you can have them relatively close together. You can grow them in a container, but their roots are about 12 inches long, so you definitely want a deep container, nothing too shallow, because it's going to be like a carrot. It's not going to really, you know, do anything if the roots don't have enough room to grow. So containers are perfect, fine, as long as it's a deep container. If you're going to do them in the garden or anything like that, the companion plants are carrots, what else? Carrots, turnips, rutabagas, and potatoes and sweet potatoes. Those are, you know, the companion planting, what they like to be grown around. Also, the good thing with Salsify is there's no real diseases and no real pests that you have to watch out for, so it should be a fairly easy grow. I'm hoping, again, I'm not sure what I did a long time ago when I got these, or not that long ago, but when I first got these, I don't know what I did wrong. Probably not researched it enough, for one. So, I don't know. Anyways, these came from Survival Essentials, and it was a I don't know, fairly decent box. Yeah, about like that. Of all different kinds of seeds in here. And I normally wouldn't recommend buying like a seed kit or like a seed box or cans or whatever, because if you're picky about what vegetables and stuff you eat, there's going to be stuff in there that you don't like to eat, and then you just wasted your money. Because, for example, we're a family that's not big on eggplant. I'll eat it every once in a while. I don't think my kids have, other than my oldest son, have tried it yet. I know my husband doesn't like it. So, anyways, if we grow eggplant, it's only like a plant or two because I'm the only one that'll eat it. Maybe the young kids will now. So, at that, I don't like a lot of it. I like a little bit of it, and I don't like it as like an eggplant parm. I want it mixed with something, like kind of like a stir fry kind of thing. I don't want it to be the main focal point of my dish. So, again, normally, like I said, I wouldn't have suggest anybody to buy the big kits, but this was actually an awesome kit, because even though there are seeds in here that are vegetables or whatever that I don't necessarily enjoy a lot of, it still had such a huge variety, and it wasn't just certain ones. The other thing that you have to be careful of too is sometimes those kits and stuff can have plants that aren't really great to be grown in your area. So that's another thing to watch out for too if you're buying the big kits. However, like I said, at least we're in Maine, this was a good choice, and I definitely would recommend it again. The only other downfall to this is when we were moving, some of these seeds and stuff got left out. Usually I have all my seeds in my refrigerator stored so that they store longer, and the best way to be freeze them, but I don't want to take up any more freezer space, so they're in the fridge. So some of these were left out, so I'm not sure how that could be my downfall too, but we'll see how they go. So anyways, on to the winter sowing. So I've been saving milk jugs and water jugs for this new thing that I learned. I've never tried before, so we're going to go ahead and try it. And it's just a winter sowing where I'm going to plant certain ones. Not everything can be planted this way, but certain cold hardy ones like Salsify in here. And then instead of having all these baby seeds and stuff in my house, this gets taped up and it goes outside in the south side of your property, and it stays outside. You water it once, you go back and check on it every so often, and then that's it. When it's ready to transplant, it's already outside, you're good to go. So my main thing for this is not having a bunch of tiny seeds in my house, because with everything being remodeled and everything, I don't have the room right now for it, and you have to keep them warm, and I'm not, CMP just went up, or all that. I'm like boycotting CMP. If I could completely, I would, but I'm at least doing less of everything. Even my clothes, I refuse to use my clothes dryer right now. Everything gets hung up around my house because if I don't have to use electricity, I'm not going to. So, I found one of these methods. Actually, there was even one of the free webinars on it, and I was like, oh, perfect, let's give it a try. So, I saved some of these. I already poked the holes, the drainage holes and stuff in the bottom, and you can see I've already cut. I left the handle part on there, but I already cut everything. I'm going to put my seed soil in here. This is black gold. This is actually my favorite brand of soil. Eventually I hope to be doing my own soil, especially the seed mix and stuff. This I forgot to bring inside, so it's a little frozen. So I might have to pause the video and come back to this, but I'm going to put this in here and then plant, water it. Actually, these tops come off, and you can actually just throw those away because this is your ventilation here. All your air and stuff goes here. And after I put water in here, I'm going to seal this up with some duct tape, and it's going outside in the south side of my house. So let me finish warming up this seed soil, or I'm going to go get different one, and we will come back and plant the Salsify. I'll see you back soon. Okay, welcome back. I decided I'm not going to wait for the soil or the seed starting mix to thaw out, so I just got another one that happened to be in the house. This is a different brand, probably, I don't know, maybe one of my second favorite seed starting one. I don't know, I like that black gold, but it is expensive, so sometimes I go with other ones just to mix it up and, you know, make it more budget friendly for us. Nonetheless, it's going to grow my plants, so once it gets outside, I can, you know, amend the soil to fit different needs and stuff like that. So this is just to get it started. I was also hoping that my daughter would be up from her nap, because I thought this might be something that she would like to do. But she's still sleeping. I am not going to wake her. My son just popped 3 teeth. And he's sleeping too, so we're not going to wake anybody. And I would normally wait for everyone just to get up. Oh, it's still not opening. I would normally wait for everyone just to get up, but I have just too many things to do. And I'm only starting Salsify today. I have plenty of other... It doesn't want to open. I have plenty of other plants that I will be winter sowing, so they can, or she can, join in for that. Whew, alright. This has one of those blocking seals, so I didn't want to cut it too low. Okay, so I am going to use her shovel, just in case she wakes up, she can take over. Alright, put my scissors out of the way here, and normally this is something I would like to do outside just because of the mess, but it's wicked cold outside today, so I'm just going to deal with the mess in the house and clean it up after. So, like I said, soil goes in here. And we're just going to fill it. So what I like to do when I do my, you know, starter plants is I like to get it almost just about full, and then wet it and see what I have left with, because especially this has been sitting all winter season in the house and it is especially dry. So you know when everything wets, you know, it lowers it. So let's get this wet and see what we're left with. To save my counters and the mess, I put some plastic underneath it. By the way, if you guys buy or acquire these like plastic containers that like cupcakes come in, or cakes from the grocery store, or those like vegetable and fruit trays that they do, don't toss them. You want to save those. Why? Because they can become your mini greenhouses for when you do your seed starters. The bottoms, you know, obviously this would be an upside down one. The bottoms would be on the bottom to catch all the water, and you put your little starter plants in there. I save, you know, containers this time of the year. um, like from milk, or I even have one from creamer and stuff. This one just happens to be storing all my eggshells that I need to get back to the chickens. Um, but I'll save any of those, any other containers if I buy, I don't know, sour cream or yogurt or something that, you know, I haven't made myself, or just any kind of container. I will save those, and I'll use those for seed starters too. In addition to, I do buy some of those cells and everything. It's nice to start those in there. I have tried in the past egg cartons, and those are terrible. I mean, unless you're, you know, doing a homeschool project for a little kid, don't use eggshell cartons, or those, or even the eggshells all washed out, because that does not give you enough growing stuff, and you don't want to be transplanting. You're going to make your plants very unhappy. So do something a little bit bigger. You know, save those if you want to be frugal and not have to buy all those starter cells, which in those in itself, even if I buy stuff from the nursery, I will save those starter cells, because you can rinse them out or whatever, or just kind of give them a good shake off, and, you know, store them in your shed and whatever, and use them next year. You don't have to toss those out or put them in recycling. You can reuse them. In fact, these two, I am hoping that I can reuse these again for next year as well. I don't know, I've never done this, so we'll see how it goes. So anyways, okay, so see how it went down a little bit. I also have to say, I'm really liking that these are clear, because I could see the soil get damp all the way through. So I don't know, that was kind of nice. So I'm going to put some more dirt in here just to fill it up. Again, I've never done this winter sowing before, so I'm not used to using so much seed starter mix on one thing, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I got a little more soil in here. I'm going to get this wet again. So I'm trying not to get this completely saturated. But it is pretty wet. I don't know, it is honestly making me a little nervous that it's going to sit outside with not really any guidance. In fact, if snow covers it, so be it. So, I don't know, we'll see how this goes. This is my first year. Alright, so that is all nice and wet. Now I'm going to plant some in here. Again, because I've never done this before, I don't know, I don't want to plant too many in case it doesn't work. Let's see, we'll put, they only have to be a ½ inch apart too, and this is a pretty good space. I also did not see anything if, you know, which end has to be up, or how exactly you're putting the seeds in there, so I am just guessing that these could just go in any which way and they'll know what to do. Most plants know what to do once they're in their current situation. Okay, so we have 3, 6, 9. So there's 9 plants in here. Let's see if we can get any to germinate. Let me put these back. Okay, so now I'm just going to cover it lightly with some soil, seed starting mix. Alright, and then now that it's covered, I'm just going to spritz it with some water just to moisten the top. You would think I would be prepared and have everything ready, but nope. I'm also just doing this one, so. So it's nice and moist in there. I am now going to tape it, and then we're going to put it on the south side of the house. By the way, too, I don't think I mentioned, I already did label this container, which I don't know if you can see now that it's got, oh yeah, you should be able to see it, that it's got dirt all in it, but I try to remember to pre-label my containers, because often what happens is with the water and everything, I end up getting it wet, and then I try to mark on it and it just doesn't work. So it's pre-labeled on here, and I'm going to try to remember to do that this year. I also am going to laminate some cards this year, because every year, it doesn't fail, I try to label my stuff, and the rain and just the environment, just it fades. I've tried to use several different things. I've tried to use like wood, like the tongue depressors, you know, the craft sticks or whatever from the store. I've tried to use that. I've tried to use the plastic ones that you buy that you write on there with marker. Nothing works. It all just, and then I forget what is planted, and I have to, you know, go off of, you know, what ends up growing. The other thing is too, like I've tried to map it out and write down, okay, yep, so I did follow my plan. I really did plant carrots or whatever here. And it doesn't fail. I end up getting in the garden and, you know, I change my plans, and so it doesn't work. So I'm going to try the labels for outside, the laminated labels. I'll show you that in another video. And then just for the seed starters and stuff, again, remember to label it before you get it all wet and gross. So, okay, so I'm going to tape this up and show you where we put it on the south side of the house. Hello in there. Are you enjoying that tree branch? Are you guys enjoying yourself? You like the cold? You don't care? Alright, and there she sits on the south side of the house, right next to the rose. So we'll be adding more here. But in the meantime, that's our first one. We'll be planting more. And like I said, I'll be doing Salsify a few different ways. So I will keep you updated, and hopefully one of these ways will germinate something. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys. Bye.